We are halfway through the year and plenty of amazing games have already been released. While it's unlikely that any of these upcoming titles will hit the highs of things like Elden Ring, there are still a number of RPGs with high expectations, well, at least coming from myself. So here's a list of the 10 upcoming RPGs I cannot wait to dive into. Welcome everyone to Press Start. My name is Darcy and I hope you're all having a wonderful week. Now keep in mind as we get into this list, this is a personal list and it's not necessarily the most anticipated games coming from the year, and it's also not necessarily in the order of what I am looking forward to. So keep that in mind. Also ignore these balloons. They're still up here over a month later and they're still hanging on strong. So you're gonna let me know which ones you're looking forward to in the comments below, and let's get into my list. Let me start with one that's actually coming out very soon, and that's Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Now, Nintendo recently held a direct that was focused solely on the upcoming open world JRPG, and it looks fantastic. Monolith Soft, the developers of the game, really look to have refined the title from the previous two entries. Gamers will see the tale of 6 soldiers from 2 opposing nations in a world where everyone lives for basically 10 years. If you haven't checked out the direct yet, go do so because it is awesome. I'll put that link in the description below, but it looks to be a beefy title and a great experience to be had. It's going to release on July 29th for Nintendo Switch. Our next entry actually releases the same day as Xenoblade, and that's Digimon Survive. This is a mashup of a visual novel with tactical strategy RPG elements, and it was first announced in July 2018 for PS4 and Nintendo Switch. Yes, that was my dog you heard in the background. But this game went through tons of delays. A PC and Xbox version was added across the time of those delays, and we will finally be getting our hands on it. Now, my hype for this game did drop some time after time had passed, but I'm still looking forward to finally seeing it in action. It will feature a lot of replayability with different paths and digivolutions, so it seems you will be getting your money's worth here if you pick it up. It releases on July 29th for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. The rest of the video will admittedly be very Square Enix heavy. Why? Because I love Square Enix titles, and Square Enix releases a lot of RPGs, and this one is Forspoken. Is what I said at the time of recording. Future Jeremy here, and now Square Enix has delayed Forspoken to January 24th, 2023. So that means it's no longer an upcoming 2022 RPG. So let's fill this gap, shall we? This slot is now for Valkyrie Elysium. I know when it was unveiled at the PlayStation State of Play, not everyone was on board with the looks of the game. That didn't bother me any, and I quickly was hooked by the setting and combat. The previous titles featured a turn-based combat with combos created by pressing the face buttons that were assigned to each of your characters. This one is going for action combat, and it looks awesome to me. Now, the game just recently got a new trailer that shows improved visuals for the game, as well as revealing the release date, and it's coming out on September 29th for PS4 and PS5, and on November 11th for PC. The newest announcement on this list is Harvestella. Now, this farming sim RPG got announced at the recent Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase, and many describe it as Rune Factory with a large budget. Now, for myself, I can't say that because I've never played Rune Factory, but it does look fantastic. The combat looks like it will be a lot of fun, the design and setting looks really polished, and the story appears to be right up my alley. Now, I think this title will be a hit with my wife as well, who's a big Animal Crossing fan, so we both are going to be playing probably a lot of this, and I cannot wait to dive into this, hence why it's in my video, on November 4th when it releases for Nintendo Switch and PC. Now, admittedly, I missed the original announcement for Dragon Quest Treasures, but the showing at the aforementioned Nintendo Direct Mini got me excited to play it. You play as twins Eric and Mia on an adventure to find legendary treasures. The trailer showed you are able to recruit monsters from the game to help in combat and in exploration. I'm not entirely sure what else the game has to offer, but just seeing the trailer, it did enough to sell me on this being a fun experience. It's going to release for Nintendo Switch on December 9th. Now, I missed Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII upon its initial release on the PSP because I didn't own one. I always wanted this game to be remade or ported in some fashion so I can finally experience the life of Zack Fair, an important character in the lore of Final Fantasy VII. Well, now that's coming this winter with Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. The game looks to be a remake of the original game, especially with the environments and character models, but it is being described as a remaster. Whatever you want to say it is, I'll say this looks fantastic and I'm ready to slash my way through it. Now it releases this winter for basically all current consoles and PC. Soul Hackers 2 came out of nowhere, if you ignore the social media build up to its announcement. This entry dropped the Shin Megami Tensei part of the title for the more simpler approach, but it is the second entry in the Shin Megami Tensei Soul Hacker series, which debuted back in 1997 for the Sega Saturn, but it's widely different than the previous entry. It features a lot of elements that is found in the Persona series, including 3D models. Now, I love the look of this game. I look forward to what's in store for this title on August 26th, and you can basically pick it up for all major platforms except for the Nintendo Switch. Another title I included in my original video for the year, The Legend of Heroes Trails from Zero, will finally come to Western shores with its updated release date of September 22nd. This is the first entry in the second arc of the lengthy but well-developed The Legend of Heroes series. Now, I explained a lot about this game in my previous video, like Forspoken, so again, won't say too much more about this on this video. You should go check out the previous video. Just know that this is a title that if you really get into, you have a lot of other games and content to ingest and be happy with. It comes out for PS4, Switch, and PC. The title I would have said was my most surprising before Harvestella is the DioField Chronicle. Square Enix unveiled this title at a Sony State of Play and I got hooked immediately. The art direction, the story, the gameplay, this all screams Darce's type of game. Now, I understand some people's hesitation around this game as it is being developed by Landcars, and this is the same people that brought Monarch and Lost Dimensions. Both not super popular titles, and it really depends on your taste on how much you like them. But I feel with Square Enix on board, this could be a big hit. Now, it's coming to all major platforms and planned for release in Japan on September 22nd. The Western release date, though, is not known at the moment, with only being said as sometime in 2022. Future Jeremy here, want to let you know the DioField Chronicle PlayStation page did update with a release date of September 21st here in Central Time Zone. So that does coincide with the Japanese release date, so it could be a worldwide release, but a new trailer has not came out yet. I will keep you updated if that does. While the rest of the list is not in order, this one is definitely my number one, and it's Star Ocean: The Divine Force. Now, those that know me or been around the channel may be saying, wait, Final Fantasy is not your number one? But you love Final Fantasy. And that's true. Final Fantasy is my favorite series, but Star Ocean is arguably my number two. And the reason that Crisis Core is not up there is because while I never played Crisis Core, that's not a new entry. This one is. The recent videos Square Enix put out on it made it look fantastic. I know many fans lost faith in the series after Integrity and Faithlessness, and understandably so, but I'll admit, I enjoyed that game. I did want more from it and hoped it wouldn't kill the franchise, and so far, with this new one, I am glad to see it is not being killed, and the new entry seems to be bringing the series back to proper glory, and I'm all for it. It's going to release for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, and PC on October 27th. Future Jeremy here again. That means this section of the honorable mentions needs to be updated, and it goes now as follows: Steel Rising, Front Mission First Remake, Bayonetta 3, Chained Echoes, and Pokemon Violet and Scarlet. But that's all that we have for this video. Once again, if you liked the video, make sure you give this title a thumbs up and leave a comment down below on what is your most anticipated RPGs for the rest of the year. Also, hit that subscribe button and consider hitting the bell so you be notified of every time that I post. Thank you once again for tuning into the video here at Press Start, and remember, as always, your gaming news starts right here.